Okay, good afternoon once again. We are about to finish with our topic, production management. This might be the last video in respect of production management. And if time permits us, just as we did for our previous topic, we'll go through the past questions. There are some few past questions regarding production management. Today we'll be looking at a very important subtopic. Now, when you are buying a product, there is a specific product that you want in terms of its features, in terms of its beauty, and in terms of its serviceability and a whole lot of other things. And that is what we are going to look at today. Those things do not come just like that. They are planned for. So if you are buying any product, you want the quality. But quality doesn't come by accident. Quality is a design and then manufactured into. So today we'll be looking at quality control. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to define quality. When you say quality, what is quality? You should also be able to define quality control. When we talk about quality control, what are we talking about? What is it? Then we also look at the major steps involved in quality control, which we have already done, because when we are talking about controlling as one of the elements or as one of the functions of management, we learned about the steps involved in controlling, and that is the same thing. You remember, there we look at quality control and then quantity control. So in this case, we shall be looking at only quality control. Then we also look at the benefits that the organization will have or the customer will have when there is quality control. So what is quality? When you say quality, if you are buying a product, say I want quality, what does that mean? That means you have a need and you want something that will satisfy your need. There is something that you require and you want something that will satisfy that requirement. And that is what quality is all about. So when you buy that thing we call product, its ability to satisfy your needs, its ability to satisfy your requirement is what quality is all about. So it is said that it is the customer that determines the quality of the product. I repeat, I said it is said that it is the customer that determines the quality of a product. What does that mean? You may be a manufacturer. You might have set standard, you have come out with the output, you have come out with the product, and you think it's quality. If the customer says it is not quality, it is not quality. It is not about what you say. So what you need to do is to go out and find out what the customer wants, the customer's requirement, and then you produce, you design the product, and then you manufacture it into that quality that the customer wants. And we shall look at that one when you go to marketing management after production management. So that is what quality is all about. The degree of excellence of that a company's product possesses, the degree of excellence that the company's product possesses is what we call quality. So if you are buying any product, what can it do in terms of its beauty? Or if you look at it, some people will look at quality in terms of its beauty, its performance, and then its serviceability. There are some people, they will not buy certain products. As for this one, when you buy and it gets spoiled, it cannot be repaired. you cannot get the parts. So if that happens, then it means for that person, quality is affected. So that is what quality is all about. So I said the meaning of quality, that is a product's ability to satisfy customers' needs or requirements. Whatever product it might be, it may even be food that you are buying, it may be biscuits, it may be drink, it may be anything. Does it have the ability? What is the ability of that product to satisfy your requirement? So quality may even be relative. What may be quality to somebody may not be quality to another person. Even though you can have the general definition of what quality is all about. So that I say is the degree, to what extent, to what the degree, the extent, so the degree of excellence that an organization's product possesses. So if you are buying a car, if you are buying a particular medicine, if you are buying a calculator, whatever you are buying, what can it do in terms of what requirement? What is the extent? What is the degree of its excellence? Then we are then looking at it in its totality. People will be looking at the features. So for example, I'm using my phone to record this particular video or this particular lesson. So one of the features is that it has a camera. And because I knew what I was going to use the phone for, when I was buying the phone, I'll be looking at the quality of the camera. The quality of the camera. It has radio. It has a whole lot of other features. You can exchange data. So some people will not buy certain products because they do not have certain features. So somebody may not buy a certain phone because it doesn't have radio. So for that one, that phone does not satisfy the person's needs. In terms of its performance, somebody will look at the battery. When you charge the battery and you are using the phone, how long can it take? Somebody may ask whether when the battery is charged in full, you can use it for 3 days, you can use it for a whole day, or for what? Before they buy. So that is what quality is all about. So they will look at the features, they will look at the performance, the product's performance, what you are using the product for. They will look at how reliable the product is, its reliability. We are looking at what goes into quality. And I've talked about the features, I've talked about the performance, and I've also talked about reliability. Then you will also look at its beauty. Its beauty, that is also very important. Aesthetics, its beauty. Then conformance to specification. Does it conform to the design specification? Before the product was made, it was designed. So you measure the product performance, the output, in terms of the design specification. So you look at that one. Then I also make mention of serviceability and so on and so forth. So that is what quality is all about. So what is then we also know what control is, or controlling is. So if you know what quality is and you know what control is, then it becomes very simple. So you see, I indicated earlier that quality does not come by accident. you have to go through certain process before you can get the quality that you want or what the customers want. So it is not by accident. You have to design the quality and then you manufacture the product into the quality. So what is quality control? Very simple, straightforward. We are looking at the meaning of quality and the meaning of control, the extent to which the product conforms to designed specification. Quality control talks about the extent, it talks about the degree to which the product. So when you have made the product, this is an output, this is the product. This product, before it was made, it was designed. I quite remember there was a time your school, your outing, the school's outing, the one you are using currently. At first, that was not what the school was using. They gave that one to the visual arts department to design it. So the way it was supposed to be, the visual arts department designed it with the school's crest and everything, how it is supposed to look at. Or then they sent it to the manufacturer to produce the output. So there was the design specification, and the design specification, they use a computer to do that one, and then they send the design to the manufacturer who manufactured it. When the manufacturer brought it for the first time, the school rejected the product because there was difference between the design specification and then the output. What was the difference? You see, when you look at your outing dress, the school dress, you see the torch. There is a red flame there. So if this is the torch, then that red thing here, when they brought the material, it was the material they brought. When they brought it, the red flame was not there. So the school rejected it. That means the output was different from the designed specification. And so to the school, the quality has not been provided. So it was not a quality product to the school. So when you are talking about quality control, so that's what we say, it is the extent to which the product conforms to the designed specification. The extent to which the product conforms to the design specification. What they brought did not conform to the design specification. There was deviation, and the deviation was that red flame was not there. It was conspicuously missing. So the school rejected it. You see, so that is what quality control is all about. So if you look at it, I have this thing here. If, for example, you want to go and make something, and this is what you want them to do. So this should be the design. So this one you see here is the design. Let me see if you may not see it. Let me bring this thing closer so that you can see it. So this one is the design I'm talking about. So you have designed it. Then this one is the output. So if you look at this one is the output. So if you look at it, this is the design specification. So check the difference. Are they the same? Is no. Why? Look at this dot here. It is not here. So that means the output does not conform to the design specification. And this one, if this is the one you are bringing, it will be rejected. So if you have quality control, you monitor the whole manufacturing process so that when you see any deviation anywhere, you can provide the necessary corrective measures. So that is that. So if you look at it, then we said that if you are looking at quality control, another thing you can say is that quality must be designed and manufactured into the product, as I've already told you. And then there should be a quality control officer to see to it that the output conforms to the design specification. So that is what we are looking at. So that is that. We have looked at design specification, then the output, and you see that the output does not conform to the design specification. So we have said the quality must be designed and manufactured into the product. So there must be a quality control officer. That is why when we are learning about organizational chart or organogram, if you come to the production department, where you have the production manager, you can have plant manager, then you can also have quality control officer. And this is the work of quality control officer, to see to it that output conforms to the design specification. So that is that. So we can then technically define quality control. You can say quality control is the extent to which the output or the product conforms to the design specification. Then we can also define quality control as the systematic. When you say something systematic, you understand it. It is not done haphazardly. Systematic control of those variables. Systematic control of those variables or various variables. So we can talk about those variables which affect the quality performance of the product. Any variable that affects the quality performance of the product. For example, labor or the men. That is a variable that can affect the quality performance of the product. It is labor that is manufacturing the product. So if an expert, if they are not experts, if they cannot produce what you want, then certainly quality will be affected. So the quality of your labor can affect the quality of the product. Then we can also look at the materials. If you are going to produce orange drink and the orange fruit itself is not of a higher quality, then certainly it will affect the quality of the product. So the quality of your product will also count. It's a variable that will affect the quality. Then the type of machines or technology that you are using will also be a variable that will affect quality, and so on and so forth. So systematic control, and you understand what is meant by control, because you know that control means you, after setting your standard, you measure performance, you compare performance with the standard set, and take the necessary corrective measures where there is deviation. So when you have systematic control of those variables which affect the quality performance of the product. Then you are looking at quality control. Systematic control of those variables. And I've mentioned those variables. I've mentioned 3. I mentioned men. That will be labor. I mentioned materials. You know, even in computing or ICT, there is what they call GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So if the raw materials are defective, if the oranges are spoiled, then the output, that will be the orange drink, may be sour, S-O-U-R. So you look at the quality. If it is banku you want to prepare, the quality of the corn dough is very, very important. So the quality of the material, then the quality of the machine, the kind of machines or technology that you are using. So that is for that one. So that is the meaning of quality control. Now let's go to the objectives of quality control. Very simple, straightforward objectives. If you look at what we have done so far, then the qualities or the objectives of quality control is very simple. The first one has already been done. So one of the objectives is to establish acceptable standard of the product. One of the objectives is to establish acceptable standard of the product. So remember, if you look at this one, they establish the acceptable standard of the product. So then this was, you went through the manufacturing process, and then this was the output. So if you, that is why you have known that there is deviation from this. If you look at this dot, it's not here. If you look at even this point and this point, you see that this point has deviated from this particular point. So quality control is meant to establish acceptable standards. And how do you get acceptable standard? You have gone out for, you have researched, you have gone out to interview potential customers, what they want and all those things. So you know what they want, what can satisfy their needs or requirements. So you establish acceptable standards of the product. So that is the first one. Number 2, simple, straightforward, is about evaluation. So quality control is to evaluate manufacturing process. We have learned what manufacturing process is. So you know what is manufacturing process. So it is meant to evaluate the whole manufacturing process. So as you move from one stage of the manufacturing process to another, quality control makes sure you examine, you monitor the production process in order to identify deviations so that the necessary corrective measures can be taken before the product comes out or the products come out. So that is that, to evaluate manufacturing process and suggest changes. And the changes can be that you want to maintain the changes because you want to maintain quality because it is as you want, or you want to improve upon quality. So that is for that one. The last one, simple, straightforward, that can be even derived from this one, is to provide assurance to the customers about the performance of the product. To provide assurance to the customers about the performance of the product. So you give what we call guarantee or warranty. So if you buy this product, you yourself, you have gone through the quality control process, and you know you are certain of the performance of the product, and you know when they buy this product, or these products, for the next 10 years, nothing is going to happen to the product. So if it is roofing sheet, some of them can give you 20 years warranty. That means if you buy the product within 20 years, if something should happen to the product, they may either repair it or bring a new one within the time frame specified. So the warranty or guarantee will be established for you. So that is that. We are not going to waste time on the next one, which is the steps in quality control. Anyone who has done the steps in controlling knows it. Remember, the steps in controlling, one is that you need to establish standards. So here, standards have been established. But the standard can be quality standard or quantity standard. So with quality standard, for example, you say you have by the end of the month, you should produce 10,000 units of the market, 100,000 units of the market. That is the quality control. The quality is what we are looking at here. So here you have to set quality standard. So here they have set the quality standard. This one is they had to set the quality standard. So the quality control officer samples will be made, then it will be tested to find out whether whatever they want to produce, if the product passes through the various stages, they will be able to come out with that one. So that is for that one. So the first step is that you establish the quality standard. Remember, you know the second step because you have done controlling. So after establishing the quality standard, here you not say you establish standard because you are not even controlling in general. Here we are looking at quality control, so you establish quality standard. If it is quantity control, then you establish quantity standard. But here, so it's quality standard. So after establishing standard, what's the next? So you have said it, and that is measuring performance or monitoring and measuring performance. So just as I told you, for this one, they have to produce maybe a few prototypes, few copies. They test it. Go to YouTube and search for manufacturing of, let's say, fruit drink. You will see that it will first pass through certain process. They will test it. They will go to lab. They want to test a lot of things. They will taste, everything, and a whole lot of other things will be done. So when they have had the quality they want, then they will proceed. So you measure the actual performance, actual quality. So that is that. So the first one is establish quality standard. Then the second one, you monitor and measure actual performance. Now this phone that I'm using, certainly they have to monitor and check the actual performance of the camera. So you also use it first to see the quality and if there is any deviation. So that you move to the third one where you compare the standard with the performance. What has come out with the performance? So you compare with the standard. Assuming here, this is what you want. So this is the standard. So this is what has come out. You compare the two. Then you see, you move to the fourth stage. Here there is deviation. So you take the necessary corrective measure so here the necessary corrective measure has been taken. Here too, if you think that this is not what it's supposed to be and it's supposed to be like this, you do it. You take the necessary corrective measure. So these are the steps involved in quality control. Setting quality standards, monitoring and measuring actual performance, comparing actual performance with the standard that you set, and then you take the necessary corrective measures when there is deviation from the standard that you set. So that is, or these are the steps involved in quality control. Okay, so we are moving to the last aspect of quality control. So far, we have talked about the meaning of quality. We've also looked at the meaning of quality control. Then we also looked at the objectives of quality control. Then the last thing we did was the major steps involved in quality control. We talked about 4 main steps. You establish quality standards, you measure or you monitor and measure performance, you compare the performance with the standard set, and then you take the necessary corrective measures where there is deviation. The last thing is, what are the benefits of quality control? When organization put in place this quality control, what will be the benefit? Very simple, straightforward. If you look at what we have done so far, everything is there. Now, if you go and buy, let's say, malt, whether in can or whatever, the person I'm asking is, are they the same, uniform, in terms of, like this can, that can, the other can, they are the same or they will be different? Now, a particular malt that was made in a particular period or time may be 40, so all of them will have the same quality. So quality control, number 1, brings about uniformity in respect of quality. There is uniformity. This thing that I'm wearing now, if you go to the north, this one somebody gave me. The person bought 2 from the north. The person came to do national service here, a business management. After that, I was there when the person brought me this. The person also had one. If the person wears it, we may think that it's the same thing. If they made 1,000, it will be the same. So there is uniformity. If you go and buy malt, the taste, everything is the same. If you are 100 people and they serve you, the taste that you have will be different, except that there is a particular problem with one. Maybe there is a hole somewhere and air might have entered and a whole lot of other things, or it has expired. So that is that. So there is uniformity in respect of quality. Uniformity in terms of its performance. And you can predict the performance. If you, for example, this phone I'm using, the front camera, if anyone even sees it, they say, which brand is this? They want me to tell them the brand so that they will go and buy. Because they know that, okay, if this is this particular phone, then if as this man is using it and it is like this particular phone that I'm seeing it like that, if I also go and buy, it will have the same quality. So you can predict. If you are buying a particular company's product, you know. If you are buying Samsung phone, you know its performance. So you say, oh, as for Samsung, their phones, then you mention a particular feature. As for their camera, as for this particular company, as for their this, as for their that. So you can predict its performance. If that same leading company comes out with a different product, you say that, oh, you mention the name, you say, oh, at Samsung, their product is now. So whether it is fridge, whether it is phone, whatever it is, you are ready to buy. So that is one of the benefits of quality control. There is uniformity in terms of the quality, and you can predict the product's performance because it has gone through a certain process, and the quality control officer has tested the product. There can be a lab test. So if you buy any product and they are telling you that protein is 0.2%, they are not just saying it. The quality was that they wanted it to be 0.2%. They wanted carbohydrate to be 10%. They wanted this particular mineral to be this percent. They would test. And that is the work of the quality control officer. So if there is any deviation from the standard that has been set, the necessary corrective measures will be taken so that the product will conform to the designed specification. So that is for that one. The second benefit is that, you see, when you have quality control, which is the process, then it introduces quality consciousness in the minds of the employees and management. It introduces quality conscious. You become, if you are an employee, you know that this is the standard the company wants. Management knows that this is the standard the company wants. So the product will be manufactured on the basis of the standard that has been established. So quality control will certainly introduce quality consciousness. If there is nothing like quality control, then you can just produce anything, and then if per chance the customers want it, then they will buy. They buy. If it doesn't meet their standard, then they don't buy. So that is another one. So I said it introduces quality consciousness in the minds of both the employees and then the employer. The third one, very simple, straightforward. You know, when in the process of quality control, you don't manufacture the entire product, then you test. You sample, there's some, or you have a sample. You remember I told you about prototype. You produce few copies, you test them. If you go to YouTube right now, and then you search for fruit, let's say orange fruit or drink, or orange drink, let me put it that way, orange drink. You see that they will not just make the 100,000 units just like that. What they will do is that they will just pass through the process, come out with few. The quality control officer will taste. That's the one. Two, the quality control officer will send the product to lab. The organization may have lab. If it's a big organization where all the ingredients will be tested to find out whether everything is okay. So what is it going to do? It is going to be what? It is going to affect cost. So it is going to help to minimize or reduce cost of inspection. It will help to reduce cost of inspection because you are not going to inspect everything. You sample. You sample. Now, if you have, you want to buy orange from somebody, you not taste all the oranges before you know. You say, you ask the person may even cut small one, gives to you, then you taste, and then it's, oh, it's nice. No, it's not nice. So that is for that one. It reduces cost of inspection. The reason is that you are going to have only a sample. You will not produce everything before you taste or test. So that is that. Then the fourth one is that it minimizes waste of materials, since only few will be rejected. So if you taste, and if, for example, we are going to make a fruit drink, and then we made a quantity like only this one. If you taste this one and it is not as we want, we will throw only this one away. But if you did not have quality control, and then we manufacture everything, 1 million units of the fruit drink, if it is not up to the standard, you throw everything away. So quality control minimizes waste of material. The reason is that only few will be rejected. That's where it doesn't meet the standard. Then the last one, very simple, straightforward, is that it leads to making high profit. Because if you produce quality product, the customers will buy the product and you make the necessary profit. So that is that. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of quality control. We talk about the meaning of quality, the meaning of quality control. Then we also looked at the objectives of quality control, the major steps involved in quality control, and then we ended with the benefits of quality control. But don't forget that quality control is a type of inspection. You remember in our previous lesson, when we were looking at production planning and control, the 6 steps that we learned, we looked at inspection as one of the steps in new product planning and development. This quality control is an example of inspection. There are other examples.